thought we'd do another video. It's a cold, snowy day here, so it seems like a perfect time to talk about gardening. Despite what the weather is, this is the time of year when everybody has their gardens on their minds. It's actually time to start some seeds here. I need to start my tomatoes and my peppers, and people who live in warmer climates are actually getting ready to plant things, which we're still about 4 months away. We have a long, cold winter and a really late frost date. So I thought I would do just a simple 4 tips for starting a garden. If you've never started one before, or if you're just unsure of how to make it better. So the first thing is you need to figure out the size and the location of your garden. So if you live someplace where you actually get rain, then you can put your garden anywhere you want. But out here in the West, we have to have water. So the biggest thing for the location for your garden is that it's close to water, that there's someplace with a hose that you can reach it, and you're going to be able to have water for your garden. Another thing to keep in mind is you're probably going to want it pretty close to the house, because when you decide that you just want to run out and grab some lettuce and tomatoes and whatever to make a salad for dinner, you don't want to hike all the way into the back 40. You want to basically just step out your door. That's where the expression a kitchen garden comes from, because it was the garden that had the things that you went and grabbed just for cooking with, and you wanted it right close to your kitchen. So you're going to want to think about water, closeness to your house, you know, how good's your soil. It can't be in shade. It needs to have sunshine. So you're going to want to think about all those things before you choose your space. Okay, the next thing is, what kind of garden do you want to have? Do you want to grow enough food so that you can and freeze and preserve over the year? Do you want to have enough food to share with your neighbors, or maybe even have a farm stand? Or do you just want to have enough food that your family can eat it fresh through the season? So you need to figure out that, and that'll help you figure out how much of whatever you're going to plant you need to plant. Because if you want to have enough to preserve, you need to plant a lot of extra. Same with sharing or selling. If you just want to be able to eat fresh for your family, then you don't need to plant nearly as much. Frost dates. I talked about our frost date is way out there. You need to learn what your growing zone is, your USDA growing zone, which is not the be all end all in your gardening, because our USDA growing zone is actually zone 6. And a lot of people in zone 6 can start planting in April or even May. The be all end all is your frost date. And because we are such a high elevation and we're in the high desert, our last frost date is sometime in June. And it's actually more of a guideline than a last frost date, because we can actually get frost at any time of the year. We've actually had a hard frost July 3rd. And yeah, that can be a real bummer when you have everything growing and then it comes in, and if you're not paying attention, you can lose everything halfway through the growing season. So you need to learn your frost date, and that's going to help you figure out when you want to start your seedlings, if you're going to start seeds ahead of time, or even just when it's safe to start putting things out in the ground. You want to wait until after that frost date. You're going to check your growing zone. That's going to help you figure out what kind of things you can grow. And the frost date and the growing zone together kind of help you figure out how long your season is, so you know when to start certain things and when you can't. So I grow pumpkins here, but our growing season is so short, it's only about 90 days. So I start my pumpkins inside my greenhouse here. That's part of why we built it, in like April, and they stay in here until about the middle of June, when hopefully I can safely plant them. And then we can actually get frost in September. So we also figure out ways to keep our season going a little bit longer. But you need to look up all those things. You can just find those things online usually and figure out when and what you should be growing. And the last thing, the fourth thing, is where to get your seeds from, because you want to make sure you get good seeds. You want to order from a reputable source. The two that I really like is we order most of our seeds from Territorial Seed, because that's actually here in Oregon. They're up north of us a little bit, but their weather is pretty much the same as ours. So I know if it survives in their test garden, it'll probably grow here for me. And then the other one is RUPP, R-U-P-P. That's actually where we get our pumpkin seeds from. And they are a big company, and they'll sell large amounts to commercial farmers, but they also will sell small amounts, and they have really good seeds too. So you can buy seeds just at your local farm store. There's nothing wrong with that, but you do want to pay attention to where you're getting them and not maybe buy the cheapest seeds. Like, you know, I probably wouldn't buy my seeds at the dollar store if I was really depending on them to come up and feed my family. But I have bought seeds from there before, and they did all right. But so you need to have a good, reputable source. So number one is where you're going to put it. Number two is what kind of garden, what are you going to grow in it. Number three is what's your growing season, what's your last frost date. And number four is to get your seeds from a good, reliable source. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching. And if you liked it, we hope you'll subscribe and follow our channel. Have a blessed day.